welcome to Timeless Conversations, a channel where we talk about adulting, the ups,
the downs, and everything in between.
Today's episode, we want to talk about the things that you wish you knew before your first job. My name is Aisha.
And my name is Robina.
Welcome to the show. As a newbie in the workplace, there are things that you wish someone had told you.
You know?
Things that were never taught in school, but you can only learn them on job as you're working. What are those things?
So the one thing that I wish I knew when I was starting out is to know the company policy, but also the labor laws of Uganda, so that in any eventuality, you have basis on how to defend yourself. Because sometimes employers squeeze you to a rock, but when you know the policy of head, you know what the company policy says in terms of HR and in terms of, other events, you can defend yourself based on the policy, but also the labor laws. Know the labor laws, how many days of leave are you entitled to, and things like that, so that in case you want leave and they're refusing you to go under circumstances that are not clear, you can clearly defend yourself.
Yeah,
yes.
It's very, very important to know the HR manual of head,
yes.
if possible. At least know the pointers.
Yes.
Because that is where they will pick clauses either against you
yes.
or for you.
Yes.
So in cases where this manual is speaking against you, are you able to refer to it and understand in depth what that manual talks about? A case in point, I have heard of cases where people are fired, in unclear circumstances. So if you know what your HR manual talks about, termination, and you know what steps are supposed to be taken for you to get terminated, you're better off cushioning yourself.
That's true.
Yeah.
But also, if you know the company policy, you're better off keeping yourself within the policy. Like you're careful not to do things outside of this policy. Yeah.
You know the limits
yes.
and how much you can stretch.
Yes.
Yeah, I've also noticed that most of the time your HR manual will not be different from the laws of the land. Yeah,
that's
so
true.
In circumstances where you think you're not treated fairly as an employee, you know where to seek for redress.
Yes, that's
yeah.
true. Then also, sorry for interruption, I feel like you also need to know your contract, know the terms that are therein and adhere to it. Also, there are some things that are usually quoted in the contract that are not necessarily in any of these policies. So you need to know that and adhere to it strictly so that you're not caught off guard. Yeah.
You remind me of this example. But also, I think as you're looking at the manual, we should also be human about it. There's a clause in most of the contracts that we sign that talks about bereavement policies. Yeah, and most of the time, the HR manual will require that for every leave that you take, you hand over to the person that is going to take on your role as you're away. These bereavement policies, in most of the time, while you're grieving, you forget that you have to actually hand over. How many people know that?
I know.
Now, if you find a stuck-up HR, they will actually hold you accountable to that.
That's true.
So knowing the backups in all these clauses will definitely safeguard you. I have learned to negotiate your salary before accepting any job offer. You see, these companies have a fair remuneration policy, but if you do not go ahead and ask for what you think is your rate, most of the time they will either give you an underrating because you didn't ask for the right price. Yeah. So I have learned that while you ask for 500,000, there is another person who is asking for 2M.
I know.
And they will get that 2M because it is within the organization's budget.
That's true.
And now you get to get this offer at a very low rate, and you probably will regret because you did not have information. Remember, these companies that we apply to, they will not put on the table what they offer. They will ask you what your salary would like,
expectation
your range
is, yes.
but they will not bear what they offer for that position. So it's better that you negotiate your highest, right? So that in case of any lowering, it is still a fair rating that you would accept under normal circumstances without getting burnt out, but also what you're worth.
Yeah, but also in negotiating some of these, in negotiating your salary, I feel like you should know the market rate for the level that you're, for the level that you're at, and with the level of experience that you have, the level of education that you have, know the market rate. And there, with the market rate, you can do a markup, like that, use that a markup to get a range, high and low, and say this is the least I can accept for such a position, and this is the highest I think would be fair for an employer to pay me for this position, considering also the job description. So I think let's not be overambitious as well, but also have information. That's for me key, because if you do not have information, one of the details of the job, the details of what the job requires, two, the market rate, but then also if you can do research on what the organization offers to other people, it would give you a rough idea of what to ask for. Sometimes even your expectation is lower than what they are willing to offer, you know. So when you can ask around, me, I've learned not to be shy to ask information. First of all, about money, I am not shy. Ask. The least someone can do is say no or not give you an answer. I know what do you lose if you ask. So ask about the salary range. Okay, if people are not comfortable, let them give you a range so that you know the amount within which you're playing around with, you know. Recently,
I had a light bulb moment. I learned that actually HRs are comfortable keeping the staff who are already within the organization at a certain amount of money. They're comfortable with that, right? But they are more than willing to offer a higher amount of money for someone who is a new entrant.
Of course. And I wonder why they do that, because their goal is also to motivate the existing, and retain the existing staff, because this one, the new person you're bringing in requires training, requires mentoring, requires assimilation into the organization system. So I feel like it's better off motivating the existing staff and encouraging them to stay than to, you know, reward someone who's just coming in with way higher remuneration compared to someone who is already serving you.
But also don't forget, Rabina, I've learned that, and actually someone, HR told me this, that one of the easiest routes to getting a high salary is getting a new job.
Yeah, that's true. Sadly, it is true. If you stay in a job for too long and the policy doesn't cater for salary growth, you're going to stay on that same salary for the longest time.
Yeah, most of the time the percentage will be so little.
Yeah,
between
sadly. 1 to like 5 or 10, the most.
What do they call it?
Merit increment, depending on what the organization uses. Merit increment.
Someone else who is entering into a new job will get a very high percentage increase, yes, which you would never get if you got stuck up in a job. So, as you're entering that new job, consider negotiating for what you think is the value of what you're bringing to the table.
Yes, with knowledge of the organization's budget, the current market rate, and your level of skills. So another thing that I wish I knew at the point of getting my first job was to document almost everything, you know. There are instances where something is asked of you and you had a conversation about it with maybe a colleague or something, but it was just a conversation and there's no fallback position for...
If they ever went against you.
Exactly. So it's good to document, write emails, avoid verbal conversations, write emails, or if you have a verbal conversation, go and follow it up with an email. Write and say, following our discussion, we agreed on this and this and this. Yes. So that in any eventuality, someone is able to track your work. Someone is able to track who was responsible for that particular task. So write emails as much as you can and avoid, okay, verbal conversations are okay, but if it needs to be backed up, please do it.
Yeah, the other thing I've actually learned is to take appraisals seriously. You see, performance reviews not only help the organization to track your performance, but it also gives you a self-reflection. What you have been able to achieve, what is next to achieve, and more of a benchmark on your previous performance and what you intend to do in the future. So I've learned that these appraisals are not just a tick off the box of let us finish this, so that it's a donor requirement for HR and what. But if indeed you are for self-evaluation and reflection, make sure that when you sit down with your supervisor, you have honest conversation with them so that you can understand where you're standing as an individual and where you're intended to go as maybe as a bigger picture of the organization, like what are you able to offer in terms of value, you know, especially in cases, I've learned, you see that part where you're supposed to improve in terms of key performance indicators. Do not take that lightly. Follow up these key performance indicators and know how you're performing. Periodically, review these things. Maybe there are gaps that need to be fixed and you're the only person that they can back on. Yeah. So if you can, please. And remember, even in terms of disciplinary, someone will pull out this appraisal.
That's true. So I feel like also we should use the appraisal process as a time of generally evaluating. Do not take it personally, you know. Do not take it personally. Okay,
I have known individuals who take appraisals so seriously as the time of cutting kulina.
I know,
you know, like
there are those instances. There are those instances, but if you're both objective, your supervisor and yourself,
which is highly unlikely.
Yes.
Unfortunately,
but for me, I've chosen, even if you're malicing me, I will let it stop at that, but I'll take my lessons, you know, and learn from them.
Exactly.
Like there are some things that they'll point out, and when you reflect backwards,
you truly
know that this is an area that I need to improve on.
True.
You know, do not take that personally that someone is attacking you. They're actually wanting you to be better, you know. So I think that we should use it as a tool of reflection and to be able to get better at what we do, you know, and to improve the gaps.
I absolutely agree with you. I've actually learned, even besides the formal appraisal process, sometimes I just sit with my supervisor and ask, what do you think? Informally, just to get their feel of how you're doing and how best you can improve.
That's such a good practice.
Yes, it is a good practice. And I like it so much because that is when I realize, oh, I could be doing less here and yet I can focus so much here.
Something else that I wish that I knew before my first job was that to take leave. There are several years that I've carried forward leave days or forfeited leave days, but trust me, in those years I have burnt out. I have felt tired and exhausted.
Certainly.
Yeah, and of course there will always be work. Like work will never get finished. And if you don't take a moment to rest, those leave days were put there for a reason, for you to always take a break, you know.
Yeah, and be with family.
You know.
And do things that you like aside from work.
Sadly, some of us, you look at the workload and you're like, I need to finish this, and it keeps on piling and piling, and it becomes a cycle of just working and you forget to take your leave, except when there's something really pressing for you to take leave. And then there you haven't really rested, you know. So I've learned that take your leave, like plan your leave, spread it over the whole year and make sure that you take it and rest, because there's such a thing as burnout. And when you burn out, your productivity really, really goes low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you cannot pour from an empty cup.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for me, I just agree. leave days should not be tampered with and should be taken on time.
Yeah.
You know, because that is the only way you're also going to give back to your employer full.
Yes, when you have like
Yeah.
poured into yourself.
Yes, go and rest with your family, be with the people that you love. Just take your leave. Do not even push it forward to the next year. The other thing that I've learned, your workmates are not your friends. Those guys will throw you under the bus.
Aren't they though?
No, they are not. Do not ditch your real life friends for workmates. You're all there for the money. Yeah? Just give us a bag and go home.
I disagree.
Why?
I feel like we meet friends anywhere. You can't be fixated in the fact that these are just your workmates. You might meet a great friend, but also I don't say ditch your real life friends for your workmates, but make friends. Like, you never know who your closest friend will be. You might find someone that you really connect with, and they're really friendly to you, and they wouldn't, okay, they could not be in your like direct line of work to be able to throw you under the bus. What if they are in another department, but you're just able to connect with this person, you know?
I hear you, but I hear that people, because you spend a lot of time together, you know, maybe the law of proximity, these are the ones that are so close to you all day long. I just want to believe that if it's a thing of competition, because there's always that silent competition in terms of who meets the targets first, who especially in those organizations that have employee recognition a lot, people will do anything and everything to see that they are the best. So I find myself thinking, if we found each other in a disciplinary committee, would you sell me out?
I hear you, but
genuinely, would you?
No, I wouldn't.
Now, I just have this belief.
I wouldn't sell you out if I believe that you actually didn't do what they've put you there on for.
It is highly unlikely that someone will put their job on the line to defend someone just because they are friends. Especially
I
at
would,
work.
honestly. I think I would.
And that's a small percentage.
Maybe not.
So I just feel like it's better we put these boundaries.
Boundaries are healthy, yes.
Of let's understand that yes, we could be friends, but work friends.
I hear you. But me, being the person I am, I usually go.
And the gullible ones are the ones that get in the ditch faster.
I really hope I never get into that position where I'm losing a friend just because I've closed my mind. I usually go in with an open mind because I know I can meet a friend anywhere. Because any circumstance, like friendship, there's no formula to it. And a workplace is a good place to have a friend. I don't know. I just feel like you can meet a friend anywhere. And I would like to think that even the workplace is a good place to find friends.
Yeah, and do you know most times toxic supervisors will like to have friends fight each other. So most of the time, when they find out that you're actually good friends, they will make sure that they put you in a circumstance where you end up apart, in competition with each other and fighting each other in the end. And let me tell you, losing a work friend is one of the worst things to ever happen, because this person will be in your face all the time. And why do you want that for a place where you spend most of the time?
I know it's tough, but I feel like I would be that friend who would let you win just for peace's sake.
Not me.
I know, but for me, I think that would be me, but I would be searching for a job. When I see an environment is looking like that, I will endure for the time I am there, but I'll be looking for an exit.
So you look for an exit just because you're losing a friendship?
Not because I'm losing a friendship, but because there are fights that are unnecessary and that I do not want to fight. So I would rather walk away.
Run away?
So I know, but honestly, I hate fights. unnecessary ones
I'm
at
all
that
for
matter.
fights.
I hate drama, so I'd look for all ways of avoiding it.
But workplace always has drama.
I don't like getting caught up in such drama.
You will
honestly.
find yourself in drama as long as you have friendships at work. So it's better you keep it professional and nice, cordial and stuff. We are here for work. Meet your targets, I meet mine. See you later. Bye.
No, I understand you, but I'm not going to close my mind that I cannot meet a friend at workplace. I agree with you.
By the way, it's not
but-
like I am saying that you cannot meet a friend. Like, totally. No, I'm all for 50-50 balance. But I'm saying that genuine, lasting connections that you would find in a real life friend would not be there for let's just
For a workmate.
Yeah, let's just be friends, work friends, not bestie, work bestie.
I disagree. I feel like for me, and I have friends I have actually met at the workplace, and we are still friends up to now. And yet I've left the
And there's
places
no
of
bad
work.
blood.
No, nothing. But just because we worked together and we really, really connected well. So I still think that, whereas your sentiments are true, but I feel like there is hope for friendship at the workplace. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Timeless Conversations. It was so much fun. Please like, share, and tell us what your experience was or what you wish you knew before joining your first job. Please subscribe so you don't miss our next episode. Shout out to HD Media for this great production. See you next time.
Bye.